In the previous 3 episodes, we have defined the concept of duty as the act of taking good care of oneself, family, friends, and fellow human beings. This understanding forms the foundation for leading a fulfilling and purposeful life. We also discussed that once we start living moment to moment focused around taking good care of those we deal with, we are immediately rewarded with the accomplishment of the mission, and the brain chemistry kicks in to reinforce our acts into habit and behavior. In this and subsequent episodes, we will delve into the essential knowledge required to effectively take good care of ourselves. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so now. Any feedback from you in the form of a comment is appreciated and will help. Taking care of ourselves encompasses various aspects, including physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Understanding the essentials of self-care empowers us to prioritize our well-being to live a balanced and fulfilling life, which involves recognizing the importance of physical, mental, and emotional well-being. It is essential to begin by acquiring the necessary knowledge and dispelling common misconceptions. One common myth surrounding self-care is the belief that it is a selfish act and that self-care is a luxury or an indulgence reserved for specific individuals. It is not selfish or extravagant to prioritize self-care. Another myth to address is the belief that self-care requires excessive time, effort, or resources. It is the prime duty and a fundamental necessity for leading a balanced and fulfilling life, and it is the simplest of all the things you can do in your daily life. The only difficulty is that it involves an understanding of the intricate workings of the human body. By exploring the science behind how our bodies function, we can gain valuable insights into the processes contributing to our well-being. The human body is a marvel of complexity, with countless interconnected systems and mechanisms that work in concert to sustain life. From the cardiovascular system that circulates blood and oxygen throughout the body to the nervous system that enables the communication between our brain and the rest of our body, each of these systems plays a vital role in our functioning. By delving into the science behind these systems, we will uncover fascinating details about the inner workings of our bodies while dispelling myths. For instance, understanding the role of neurotransmitters in facilitating communication between nerve cells, and not the various psychological theories preached from time to time, allows us to comprehend how our thoughts, emotions, and actions are influenced. Similarly, exploring what triggers the functioning or malfunction of the cells and the genome within the cells helps shed light on various bodily processes, including metabolism, growth, and reproduction. Not the cure you receive by outsourcing or surrendering to a certified professional. You must know and understand your body and how it reacts to various inputs by keeping a log in a daily diary. Without the knowledge of yourself, or, more precisely, your body, no matter what you do, it is useless and will end in a fiasco. Let us begin to explore the intricate workings of our body and start our self-study by understanding the remarkable filters that play a vital role in our overall well-being. These filters are responsible for processing and purifying the substances we take in through breathing and eating, and through a complex series of mechanisms, our bodies absorb essential nutrients and substances while simultaneously filtering out and expelling waste products. The human body has 5 filters: the respiratory system, the digestive system, the liver, the kidney, and our skin. Let us examine the respiratory system in this and the following episodes. As we inhale, air passes through the nose or mouth and travels down the trachea, which branches into smaller tubes called bronchi and bronchioles. These structures are lined with tiny hair-like structures called cilia, which filter out particles and foreign substances in the air we inhale. The cilia move in coordinated waves, pushing trapped particles upwards to the throat, where they can be expelled through coughing or swallowing. The exchange of gases in the lungs is a remarkable scientific process known as pulmonary gas exchange. It occurs in the alveoli, the tiny air sacs located at the end of the bronchioles in the lungs. This essential exchange primarily involves oxygen, O2, and carbon dioxide, CO2. Understanding the scientific principles that underlie this process can help us appreciate the intricacies of respiratory function and the vital role of the lungs in maintaining oxygen supply and eliminating carbon dioxide. Pulmonary gas exchange relies on the principle of diffusion, which is the movement of molecules from an area of high concentration to a low concentration. In the alveoli, oxygen molecules diffuse from the air into the bloodstream, while carbon dioxide molecules diffuse into the alveoli from the bloodstream. This diffusion occurs due to the concentration gradient created by the differences in partial pressure between the alveoli and the blood. The thin walls at the alveolar capillary interface, where the alveoli and capillaries meet, facilitate efficient gas exchange. The alveolar membrane, consisting of a single layer of squamous epithelial cells, allows for the quick diffusion of gases between the air and the bloodstream. Oxygen molecules in the alveoli bind to hemoglobin, a protein found in red blood cells, forming oxyhemoglobin. This binding enables the efficient transportation of oxygen throughout the body. Oxyhemoglobin releases oxygen in systemic capillaries, allowing it to be utilized by the body's tissues. Carbon dioxide, a waste product produced by cells, diffuses into the bloodstream and is transported back to the lungs for elimination. The majority of carbon dioxide in the blood is carried in the form of bicarbonate ions through a reaction facilitated by carbonic anhydrase. This mechanism enables the effective transport of carbon dioxide from tissues to the lungs, where it can be expelled. Efficient gas exchange also relies on ventilation-perfusion matching. This means that alveoli with adequate airflow, ventilation, should receive sufficient blood supply, perfusion, to facilitate gas exchange. Proper ventilation-perfusion matching ensures optimal gas exchange efficiency in the lungs. The filtering capacity of the lungs is primarily related to their ability to efficiently exchange gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide, during respiration. The quantity of air the lungs can absorb, commonly referred to as lung capacity or lung volume, can be measured and evaluated through pulmonary function tests. Pulmonary function tests, PFTs, assess lung function and evaluate respiratory health. These tests provide valuable information about the ability of the lungs to move air in and out, the efficiency of gas exchange, and the overall respiratory function. Here are some common types of pulmonary function tests. Spirometry. Spirometry is the most common and basic pulmonary function test. It measures the amount of air a person can inhale and exhale and how quickly they can do so. During spirometry, the individual breathes into a spirometer, which records the volume and flow of air. The test provides measurements such as forced vital capacity, FVC, forced expiratory volume in 1 second, FEV1, and peak expiratory flow rate, PFR. These values help assess lung function and detect obstructive lung diseases like asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or restrictive lung diseases. Lung volume measurement. This test evaluates the total volume of air the lungs can hold and assesses lung size and capacity. Techniques like helium dilution or body plethysmography can be used to measure lung volumes. Lung volume measurements can aid in diagnosing conditions such as lung hyperinflation or restrictive lung diseases. Diffusion capacity measurement. This test assesses the lung's ability to transfer gases, particularly oxygen, from the lungs to the bloodstream. It measures the diffusion capacity of carbon monoxide, DLCO. During the test, the person inhales a small amount of carbon monoxide, and the rate at which it is absorbed into the bloodstream is measured. This test helps evaluate the efficiency of gas exchange in conditions such as pulmonary fibrosis, emphysema, or other lung diseases. Maximal inspiratory and expiratory pressures. These tests evaluate the strength of the respiratory muscles. Maximal inspiratory pressure, MIP, measures the force generated during a maximum inhalation, while maximal expiratory pressure, MEP, measures the force generated during a maximum exhalation. These tests are useful in assessing respiratory muscle weakness or dysfunction. Exercise testing, such as the 6-minute walk test or cardiopulmonary exercise test, CPET, assesses lung function during physical activity. These tests measure parameters like oxygen consumption, carbon dioxide production, heart rate, and breathing patterns during exercise. They help evaluate exercise tolerance, identify exercise-induced asthma, or determine exercise capacity in individuals with respiratory or cardiovascular conditions. Pulmonary function tests are performed by trained healthcare professionals in specialized respiratory laboratories or clinics. The results of these tests are compared to predicted values based on age, sex, height, and other factors to determine any abnormalities or impairments in lung function. These tests assist in diagnosing respiratory conditions, monitoring disease progression, evaluating treatment effectiveness, and guiding therapeutic interventions. In the upcoming episode, we will discuss why these tests are necessary for one and all. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.